This is the kit. It's all smushed up because I keep it in my backpack.
A year ago, Katie Thornton was a high school junior.
So you just like peel back here, up the nose, and like.
She didn't know much about fentanyl overdoses or how the drug Narcan can quickly reverse the effects of an overdose, but she was paying attention.
Watching the news every night and seeing like at least once a week some report of an overdose or the use of like Narcan being used, and it's like, oh, this is something that's frequently happening that I could probably make an impact on.
So after some research, Katie came up with an idea for her Girl Scouts Gold Award Service Leadership Project.
Then we set up trainings during lunches for students to attend and learn about the signs of an opioid overdose and how to respond with the assistance of naloxone to potentially save the person's life.
Narcan's already available in many Washington schools. State lawmakers passed a bill in 2019 requiring most high schools to have Narcan on hand. School nurses or security officers often carry it with them. Since then, with the rise of fentanyl, some school districts have decided to expand Narcan to all schools. Nurses say they need to prepare for the worst.
We're seeing that it's happening to infants, toddlers, people that are not necessarily trying to ingest drugs, and they're being exposed and overdosing.
Take the Battleground School District. You can find Narcan on the wall, right next to an AED, even though they haven't had to use it yet.
What's it like now seeing the Narcan box right there next to it?
It's a little sombering, I think, especially if you've had any experience with someone that's overdosed.
The reality is, more and more, Narcan is being used at school. The School Nurse Corps asks each Washington school district to take a voluntary survey each year. 2 years ago, school officials reported they used Narcan 6 times. Last school year, they reported using it at least 42 times. And that increase is likely an undercount. Schools are not required to report their data, and not every school district participates. Plus, there are other gaps. Last spring, a teenage girl died after overdosing in a bathroom at Hudson's Bay High School, a story that KGW uncovered. School officials used Narcan to try and save her life. But Vancouver Public Schools reported on the survey that they didn't use Narcan in the 21 and 22 school year. A district spokesperson says there's a simple explanation for that. The survey was sent out and returned in April. The overdose happened in May. It further emphasizes how schools are using Narcan more frequently than we know. Katie Thornton says that's concerning on its surface, but also shows some growth in how we're ready to respond.
The fact that the rates, like you said, are going up show that like it is accessible and people do know where it is to save people's lives.
Katie goes to Henrietta Lacks Health and Bioscience High School, part of the Evergreen School District. Evergreen reported 2 uses of Narcan last year. The district expanded Narcan to all schools and school buses, and some staff members now carry it with them. KGW asked to get video of these Narcan supplies, but an Evergreen spokesperson said they don't want to show where the Narcan is because high school students could potentially steal it. The Longview and Vancouver school districts also reported they used Narcan 1 time last school year.
I think that it is important that people are talking about it and that it is an open conversation and it's not something that should be like shunned and like hushed away.
Katie directed 7 trainings this spring, where hundreds of students, parents, and teachers learned about Narcan. She gave out 80 kits with life-saving materials.
High school students, we definitely know that fentanyl is out there and that it's a big dangerous thing. And so part of what I was looking to do is make sure that they also know that there's a way to save their life.
Evan joins me now. It's surprising to me that the schools are not required to report how often they use this stuff.
Yeah, when you look at that Washington state law, schools are required to have Narcan on hand, but they're not required to report it in any way. And also, schools aren't given money to buy this Narcan, so that's left to fundraising organizations, donations from local health organizations, other forms like that. Now, the other aspect here, Pat, is should schools be more open about when Narcan is being used? We just talked about how it's likely underreported here, but parents, students, other people I talk to say, hey, we'd like to know when that's used in our schools. At least that creates a more direct conversation about what the climate looks like right
Absolutely.
now.
It'd be a great red flag. I think they should be reporting either monthly or quarterly to the local health department.
Yeah, and it's something that the reporting system could be better here as well. We talked about the Hudson's Bay case where when you're looking at that in Vancouver, that was just an issue of timing that the survey went in once and they didn't get that detail up there. But the parents that I talk to say, hey, if this happens in our school, that helps us communicate to our children that it is a big deal, that is in our school, that this is a threat here, more often than just, hey, drugs are an issue, look out for this. It feels a little more real, and I think we can all relate to that being a bit more personal too.
Absolutely. I think this is a no-brainer. It needs to be reported.
Thanks,
all right. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate it. Evan Watson.